चलें स्टार्ट करते हैं, बिस्मिल्लाह करते हैं। थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर जॉइनिंग इन। इंशाल्लाह आप लोग बहुत जबरदस्त एक जर्नी पे जाने लगे हैं। सो आई सेट अ स्टेज लिटिल बिट इन द बिगिनिंग, ताकि हम लोगों को पता हो कि हम किधर जा रहे हैं और व्हाट टू एक्सपेक्ट, एंड देन वी विल स्टार्ट द फर्स्ट इंशाल्लाह टॉपिक्स टुडे. So there are few things that I tell my students. Word document is our whiteboard, so we'll use it as our whiteboard, inshallah. Okay. There's a first thing that we have to keep in mind in terms of our mindset for learning the language. It's a language of the Quran. It's a very major language, so we need to make that mindset. And the first thing in the mindset is the recognition of the blessing. Why I say that? Because if I take you to the Quran, I don't know if you're familiar with Quran.com. Are you familiar with Quran.com? I'm sure many of you are, but if you're not, then make this website a friend of yours. So I'll show you something here. وَمَا تَشَاءُونَ إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ. So you just recite an ayah and it will give you that ayah. Okay? Now this is an ayah in Surah Takwir. This ayah says وَمَا تَشَاءُونَ. You cannot even will anything or want anything. إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. Until Allah wants you to will it. Rabbul Alamin. So it actually gives you the sense of control Allah has on our lives. So even if we want something, it's actually the blessing of Allah that we want it. Without His permission, we can't. So the first thing usually I tell my students is if you are starting to learn the language, it's the blessing of Allah that Allah has given you that thought in your mind that I want to go this route. I want to learn this. This is an opportunity He has created for you. That's the first thing you should keep in mind when you're learning this language. Okay? The second thing is commitment. Um, I've been teaching the language for I think over 7, 8 years now. This course, and commitments are different of different types. Everyone has different lifestyle, and you may have your own routines, of course. But there is a commitment that you require to do anything in your life, right? To be successful with it. For that, there is another ayah that I usually tell my students to keep in mind, and that is وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. Now, this particular ayah, if you see, it appears 4 times in the same surah. Surah Qamar, ayah 17, 22, 32, and 40. Right? It occurs 4 times. And just imagine you're trying to convince your child, do your homework or prepare for the test. It's the test tomorrow. Right? And he's not listening. What would you do? You would tell him one more time, then you will tell him one more time, then you will tell him one more time. You'll repeat things, right? So Allah uses this language in the Quran, and not just to communicate a message, but also to communicate emotion, how it is said. Okay, what's the wisdom behind it? So this ayah, Allah is saying, okay, we have certainly made the Quran easy to remember and to understand. Okay? And then he's asking a question, is there anyone who wants to do it? Right? 4 times. So he is making a promise with us that I've made it easy to remember, and are you willing to do it? So that's the commitment mindset we have to give, because the promise of Allah is there, right? And we have to make sure that we cash on that promise. There is another one that I will tell you. Inna anzalnahu Qur'anan Arabiyyan la'allakum taqilun. Okay. Now this particular one is in Surah Yusuf. Okay. Surah Yusuf, ayah number 2. Now Allah says that indeed we have sent it down as an Arabic Quran, okay, so that you can understand it, right? These are the things that Allah has already communicated to us in the Quran, and we as students of Quran need to remember as our mindset when we go through the journey of the language. Because when you learn any language, be it Arabic or any other, you will encounter situations where you are in a giving up mode. Sometimes you will say, oh, I probably cannot do it. then remember these things. Don't lose that commitment. That's the mindset we need together as a team, right? So that's something I really want you to keep in mind. Inshallah, Allah has made a promise to us, and this is going to come to reality, inshallah. The third thing I usually advise my students to do is consistency. Nothing works without consistency, you know. So uh, just make a routine out of whatever you learn. So if you learn 1 hour in this class, maybe beginning it's a little lighter, so you can spend 30 minutes together during the week, just doing what you did in the class. And as we grow and the content grows and the knowledge grows, you may have to invest a little bit more time, 1 hour maybe in a week, but keep it consistent. Fix a day or a time to just connect with the language. Okay. Fourth thing is failure. This is your class where you actually come to fail. Okay. You should not shy away from failing in this class. Okay? Because you can fail in this class and then improve on that, learn about the failure, correct yourself, and then go out and be successful with the Quran. Okay. So here we are, I mean, together to learn. I mean, I won't expect you to be perfect in every question that I ask you, every concept I explain to you. I expect you to make mistakes there. So the fear of failure should not come in your path to learn this language. Okay? So we are all students of Quran, and as we grow in the study of Quran and the language of Quran, things get difficult at times, and you can fear the failure, and because of that you might go in a giving up mode. Don't do this. We will take our time, okay, inshallah. um, it is your class, it's not my class, it's your class, and we will run it the way it works for you, okay? Inshallah. So if it is going too fast or too slow, we can adjust the pace, right? If it is going too complex or too easy, we can adjust it. If you want to go back 5 classes and revise a certain concept that you did before, we can always do that. The objective is not to complete the coursework. The objective is what you learn, you own it. You own it and you really can apply it. That's the objective. So it's up to us how we run this class, inshallah. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And the last thing I tell my students is effort. Our entire deen and our entire life is about effort. So there are people who are supremely pious in our religion, and there are people who are right at the edge of our religion. Right now, imagine a person who was an idolater or a non-Muslim, just entered the Islam and has no as such profile as a Muslim. Okay? And somebody who has been a Muslim for a very, very long time, he's grown up, he's very big scholar and very well-known personality and pious human being, right? The levels are different of understanding of deen, the practice of deen, the pace of how you go about applying your deen. So Allah is going to judge you on your efforts. That's Sirat al-Mustaqim. The Sirat al-Mustaqim, the straight path, somebody's ahead, somebody's behind. Somebody's on a bike, somebody's on a Porsche. Right? So he's going to judge you on an effort. So Hazrat Musa alayhi salam was asked to strike the sea, then Allah parted it. So it's an effort. Hazrat Maryam was asked to shake the tree, and then the dates fell down. Hazrat Sallallahu was asked to point the moon, then it was parted. So there's always an effort. So Allah is asking us for effort. So let's do our effort, inshallah, the best possible. What is with Allah is the success. That's with Allah. I can't guarantee you, you cannot guarantee yourself, right? Inshallah. We are here to put effort. So this is the mindset. Let's build it together and see yourselves as students of Quran more than the students of language of Quran. So whatever we will do is inshallah is in the context of the Quran. Our examples will be from the Quran. We'll learn, apply it on the Quran and all of that. That's the mindset we need as a team to do this inshallah journey. Any questions? Sounds okay? I
Yeah.
hope not too overwhelming. कुछ ज्यादा
No.
तो नहीं मैंने बोल दिया. ठीक है.
No.
ठीक है. And और घर वाली बात है, you just stop me where you want. Okay. So just take it at your own pace, inshallah. Right. So now what we will do is I will give you a little bit of the context of the Arabic language in general before diving into the real coursework. Now let's imagine a situation. Imagine you are 1500 years ago and you are living in times pre-Islamic era, right? When Prophet ﷺ did not really get the prophethood at this time, right? Maybe 16, 1700 years ago. So you are in Makkah and you have the house of Allah there, right? And what do you have around it? It's all desert, right? There's no greenery, there's no water, there's nothing. There's actually nothing. They don't even have agriculture, they don't have factories, they don't have anything. And this is a central point where caravans come from Yemen, south, when they are going to the north, to Syria, right, for trade. It's just a pit stop, like a service station on a highway. So they take a break there and stuff. So when you have nothing to do in a place, so you do three things. So they had nothing to do, no place to go out and visit, nothing really to do. So they focused lots on the language. The language did not get influenced too much. There was no migrants, there was no trade as such happening. They were just a temporary stop at that time. So Arabic language for Arabs became very, very important and a thing of a pride for them. So they put lots of emphasis in Arabic. That in those times, the Arabic poetry was one of the most famous skill. People used to hire a poet to fame or defame somebody, or to promote or destroy something. So that was the mindset at that time. And today you see the Quran. You see Quran, inna atayna kal kausar fasalli rabbika wanhar inna shaniyaka huwal abtar. It's very poetic. Right? It's very, very poetic. Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid, lam yulad, and so on, so on. Why is that? It's because Allah gave them the Quran in their language and the way they understood it, the way they really saw the beauty in something. Right. So this was very language was very important for them. Okay. So that is because that is why the Quran is in a classical Arabic. It's not in today's modern Arabic. So I'll give you some differentiation on what is a classical Arabic and what is today's modern Arabic. So I think this will help you in a second. So let me pick up a shape. So let's say this is a box. Okay? And I'll pick up another box. Let's say I'll put it somewhere around here, just doing it randomly. Okay. So this is black. Okay. And I'm going to pick up another box and I will put it, let's say, somewhere around here. This one is, let's say, orange. I'll move the black one a little bit here, let's say, like this. Okay. Now, this blue box is classical Arabic. Classical Arabic. Okay. Now, this is the Arabic of the Quran. You can call it Quranic Arabic. This is the language people used to speak back in the days, right? Now, this black box, this is something called modern standard 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 Arabic. Okay? Now, this is the Arabic that you learn when you do a degree in Arabic language today. So when you go do BA Arabic, you want to work in a news agency or become an Arabic salesman or businessman and things like that. That's what you do. So in all the news that you listen to today is in modern standard Arabic. It's also in short called MSA. Okay. And this one is street Arabic. This is the Arabic that is spoken in on the streets in many different countries. So Moroccan Arabic is so different that even Arabs do not understand it well. Okay? Then you have Saudi Arabic, and then you have UAE, and then you have Egyptian Arabic. If you have Egyptian friends, you might know that the Jummah prayer, they don't even call it Jummah, they call it Gumma. Right? So it's a very, very different Arabic. So as the Arabic grew across the globe, uh, depending upon the culture, their local languages and all of that, so it got impacted and it changed over time. Right? Quran is revealed in the blue box language, and there are differences in the classical Arabic and in the modern Arabic. So we need to understand that. So this particular one, uh, I'll give you an example. So, for example, you are out to watch a match, and Babar Azam or whoever plays a very nice shot, and this, you say this shot was so cool. Now, what do you mean by cool here? Any thoughts? What is cool?
Street language, street language.
It is street language, but what exactly you are trying to convey with the word cool?
Good,
Excellent.
nice.
Excellent, good, phenomenal, inspirational, right? But if Shakespeare was alive, right, hundreds of years ago, some English speaking person, he would say, is it really cold or something? Because that cool did not exist. That mindset did not exist back in the days, right? So the way language evolved, the same words that were used in the Quranic times, the classical times, are used differently in modern Standard Arabic. The meanings changed. The word remained the same, but the meanings changed many times. So, to understand really what's happening in the Quran, you need to understand the word in a way those Arabs understood it, not the way how we understand it today according to our traditions. That's how you really understand the Quran. So, if you do a modern standard Arabic and you are fluent in Arabic and you open up the Quran, you would still find your native Arabics, like your Egyptian friends, they would tell you, no, we can't really understand the Quran like that. Right? And that's the reason. And so we are going back in the history and we are learning the classical Arabic the way it was, inshallah. Okay. There's another point I want to make, that there are two things about Arabic. There's one called science of Arabic, and there's one called skill of Arabic. Now, skill of Arabic is about reading, it's about writing, it's about speaking. Okay? And maybe when somebody is speaking, it's also about listening and understanding. Okay? So this is a skill that you develop through modern standard Arabic. Okay, you go out in a restaurant, you can order something, you can find your way, you can tell your name, you can speak about your business, things like that. That's all modern standard Arabic. That's skill. The science of Arabic is about words. Where do they come from? How are they formed? What was the original creation of this word, what it meant, and what are the derivatives of that word? And then it's about a relationship between the words. When multiple words come together, how do they change the meaning of the language? Okay? So what impact does it create? So I'll give you an example again for this one. For example, you say this pizza is yummy. Okay, so I have four words in it. So I can say, is pizza this yummy? Does it make sense? Right? No, it does not. It's the same four words, right? But when they are put in a specific order, they make sense. This is science of the language. This is not the skill of the language, right? So this is what we're talking about when we talk about science of Arabic. Then you're talking about structures, sentence structures, how sentences are constructed. What difference does it make? For example, uh, this pizza is yummy. Is this pizza yummy? Same four words, but changed structure, right? gives you completely different meaning. Just like that, when you learn the Quran, you also see those structures operating in the Quran, giving you different meanings with the same words. Understanding all of that, and then there is something called balagha. Balagha is getting the wisdom out of the Quran. It's an advanced study, getting the wisdom, really, diving deep. There's a study of morphology. Morphology is construction of words. How do the words come together? For example, I tell you, there is the idea to educate. How many words can you produce around that idea? You can say educated, you can say educating, you can say educates, you can say educator, and so on, right? So you have one concept and you create multiple words around it. That's morphology study. So Quranic Arabic is about the classical science of Quran, science of the language. So our focus is going to be this. So what are you going to achieve after this? You will open up the Quran, inshallah, at one day. You will look at the language, physically look at the language, and you will understand the structure of the words, the emotion coming out of that structure, the emphasis Allah has put in that sentence that you're reading in the ayah, the meaning of the ayah. You will be able to, at some level, translate that ayah into the correct structure, and you will identify how translation of the Quran is actually not the Quran. Translation of the Quran is an interpretation of the Quran. The Quran, Allah said in the Quran, is in Arabic, right? So those are the things you will understand. And your salah is going to be impacted. You will be thinking about, uh, I mean, in terms of grammatical structures, you will be thinking about, is this word ism, fail, blah, 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 in your salah. I can guarantee you that. But at some point in time, you will start to understand a little bit what's being said. Okay, but it will take some time. So there is journey. Okay, so keep that patience with you, keep that mindset with you, inshallah, and we will go slowly, and we'll see how much we achieve. So when you want to stop, you can stop. When you want to start, you can start. It's your class. Okay, clear so far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Inshallah. Chale, Bismillah karte hain. So let's start, inshallah, formally with the content. So that was just the precursor to the learning. So Quranic Arabic, that's what we are learning. There are only three types of words in Arabic language. Three types of words in Arabic language, regardless of whatever Arabic, Quranic, modern standard, street, doesn't matter. And these three types of words is your study of the entire Arabic language in the Quran. Okay? That's what you need to really own. The first type, and I'm going to take you back to your school days. I'm going to ask you a few questions that you did in your school, and you might not remember it, but let's see. Let's make it an interactive session, inshallah. So the first type is ism. You might know this word. You might have heard this word before. Ism. Do you remember what was an ism?
Name. Is some name.
Name?
I don't know.
No?
No, I
Junaid,
don't
have
know.
you ever studied Urdu grammar?
बचपन में पढ़ी थी
बहुत
बट can't remember anything.
पहले भूल गए
बिल्कुल.
ठीक है I told you I'll take you to the school. So any other thing thought भाभी आपके माइंड में कुछ name what other
इसम के
than name?
फॉर्म्स होते थे, इसम जार, इसम पता नहीं क्या क्या होते थे, बहुत सारे फॉर्म्स होते थे, बट आई
वो
रिमेम्बर
तो forms
इसम
होते
नेम.
हैं. Right. चले I'll tell you. So ism is a name, anything, a name, place, thing, idea, right? All of those things. It is also um, adverb. It is also adjective. Don't get confused. I'll tell you what it means. Okay. Let me say and more. Okay. Now, in English language, you have something that's called a noun, right? You might know noun. So noun in English is a name, place, or a thing. Okay, anything. A house is a noun. A car is a noun. Swindon is a noun. The word Swindon is a noun, right? A ball is a noun. It's a thing, right? That's noun.
Yeah.
So that's the same story here. Name, place, and thing. But then you have the idea. The idea is something intangible. You can't really touch it. So it's like, for example, to educate. It's like, for example, Eid. You can't really touch it, right? It's an idea. For example, a birthday. For example, to help. These are ideas, and from those ideas, you can get multiple types of activities out, right? So these ideas are also considered part of an ism definition in Arabic language. Okay, and if you find anything little tricky to understand now, we'll do some examples and it will become super easy, inshallah. You will own it in few minutes, inshallah. In English, you also have adverbs. Adverbs are not considered nouns in English. In English language, you have adverbs which are defining some sort of noun. For example, for some sort of a verb. For example, quickly, slowly. So when you say walk quickly, walk slowly. So walk is a verb, and then quickly and slowly is telling you how it's done. So these types of words, usually ending with li, these are adverbs in English. They are also considered part of the definition of ism in Arabic. Okay. Adjectives. Um, Adjectives are things that describe an ism. For example, if I say car, you don't know what car that is, but if I say blue car, now this blue is an adjective. Right? So fast car, fast is an adjective. Right? So that's in English language, adverbs, adjectives, nouns are all different concepts. In Arabic, they all come together into a definition of ism. Yeah? That's where the difference comes. And this and more part we'll do later, inshallah. Okay. So if I ever ask you what is an ism, you're telling me ism is a name, it's a place, it's a thing, it can be an idea, it can be an adjective, it can be an adverb. That's what I want to hear from you at this stage. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So far so good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Giving up mode तो नहीं आ रहा?
नहीं नहीं
अभी तो नहीं आया ना? ठीक
अभी
है.
नहीं आया.
जब आने वाला हो आपने मुझे वार्न कर देना, ठीक है?
सही है.
So inshallah manage it accordingly. ठीक है?
सही.
It can come fairly quickly for some people. Okay? So that's an ism. So ism इसको आप इस तरह भी देखें कि जो ism है ना, that is actually a bigger box, and the noun of English is a smaller box inside it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So noun is just this, and ism is bigger box. A few things about ism. So when I say, let me write few isms. Let's brainstorm few isms. Can you give me some isms just out of your mind? Let's brainstorm them a little bit.
Muhammad. Name.
Any name,
Muhammad, Ji.
any place like
London.
Swindon, London.
Yeah, Swindon, London. Um, let's do some more. So,
Things
for
like
example, I say cake.
Iron.
Yeah.
Table.
Sorry?
with a chair.
Chair, and so on.
Yeah.
Now, if I say, let me write one apple. Okay, so if I say apple or cake, for that matter, cake is a cake. It was a cake in the past. It is a cake now, and it is going to remain a cake in the future. Is there any relationship to time
No.
with the cake? No. Same with Muhammad. Muhammad was Muhammad, is Muhammad, and will be Muhammad. Swindon was, is, and will be. Right?
Yeah.
So isms do not depend on time.
Okay.
When something does not depend on time, that thing is permanent or temporary? What do you think?
Permanent.
It's permanent.
Yeah.
Permanent. Isms are permanent. Sometimes Allah uses isms instead of the other words, the verbs, in the Quran to show permanence, that this is absolutely going to be. Okay? So isms are time independent. They are permanent. They don't have relationship with time. They will always exist. Okay? The word Allah is an ism. Okay? So about the word Allah. So when we use the word Allah, we always say the word Allah. Not we don't say Allah is ism. We say the word Allah is ism out of the respect. Okay. So the word Allah is ism, and then Muhammad is ism, Musa is ism, Isa is ism, and so on. All of these things. Makkah, Medina, all of that
Yes.
isms, right? They have no relationship to time. So they are permanent. So remember this part, that the isms are permanent. Okay? That was the first type of word in Arabic, ism. Okay? The second type of word is called the fi'l. You write it like this in Arabic, fi'l. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, fi'l, if you have never heard this term, that's fine, but you might have heard the verb of English.
Action.
Yeah?
Yeah, what?
So, for example, run,
Yeah. Yeah.
eat, sit, and so on. Right? Now, if I write run and then I write ran, what's the difference?
It's one is present and one
Present,
is
past.
past. Yeah.
One is present and the other is past, right? Um, you have a time aspect into them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So would
Yeah.
they be permanent or temporary?
They are
Temporary.
not permanent.
Temporary. Else would be temporary,
Yeah.
right? So they will also be temporary. Okay. Now, when you have a fail, you have two things in it. So when you say run, you're talking about time and you're talking about action.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? At that time, this thing took place, and this was the thing that took place, right? So with any fail,
Mm-hmm.
in Arabic, just like ism, Arabic fail is a big box, and the English in the verb is a small box. This is blue one is the Arabic box, which is fail, and the black one under it, inside it, is the verb of English. Okay, there is a difference. So let me give you that difference here. So verb of English is equal to the action plus time. Okay, whereas the fail of Arabic is equal to action plus time. It has the action and time, but it also have a doer of the action. Let me give you an example. So if I say he ate,
Mm-hmm.
in English language, if I ask you to spot the verb, you probably will say eat.
Yeah.
In Arabic language, if I ask you to spot the verb, you would say he ate, right? The entire thing with the he. Now, who ate? Who's the doer of this action? He.
Yeah.
Right? That is part of the definition of fail. That's how Arabic works. That is why Arabic is richer. You need less words to communicate more message. If Quran was revealed in any other language, you would probably have it in multiple books and volumes. But Arabic is super rich. Okay? So whenever we talk about fi'l is a word that shows action, time, and also a doer of an action. It is dependent on time. Okay? That is the word that is fi'l. Okay? Um, so if I say Muhammad ran towards the school. Okay. Now, in this one, you have Muhammad, that's an ism, right? You have the school, that is an ism. right?
Yeah.
School is some, Muhammad is some, you have ran, that is a fail, right? Towards and the, we have not done yet. Okay. So ultimately, these things come together and give you the context, right? So this is the second type of word in Arabic. Okay. So far, so good. Any question so far? Clear? Okay. Now the third one is harf. Harf is written like this. Okay. Now harf is the easiest one. Harf is a word. It's a word that does not make any sense unless another word comes after it. It's a word that doesn't make any sense unless another word after it. Now imagine you're on a holiday and you go out of the airport and you want to go to the hotel and you go to the taxi driver and say, "Hey, brother, two." So, okay, two what? Right? Right? There's no context. It makes no sense. But if you say to hotel, to Marriott, to Sheraton, makes sense,
Yeah.
right? So if you go to your relative's place and you have some gifts with you and they ask you who is this for, and you say for what? For whom? For Ali, for Muhammad, for Aisha, right? It doesn't make sense. So there are words that do not make sense unless there is something else coming after them. Those are harfs. These are called prepositions in English, right? So this towards and the, these were all harfs. The towards, toward what? Independently, they won't make sense. In, at, and, on, upon, all of these types of words, they're harfs. Okay? And they play a very major role in the language of the Quran. And in any other language for that matter. So these are three types of words, ism, fi'l, and harf, that we need to learn in this entire journey. How they work, what they are, how they interact, what impact they create on the message, and things like this. Is all science of Arabic. Okay? So if you were to do modern standard Arabic, on day one, they will ask you to say ma haza, and you'll say ma haza. What is this? What is this? That's how they would teach you that language, because that is about skill development. Okay? Now this is about science. Acha. I have a bad habit that I test my students. Are you okay with that? What are the three types of words? बता दें मुझे. What are the three types of words?
Ism,
Ism,
harf,
Ism, harf,
fi'l.
fi'l.
fi'l. चलें. Who is going to define ism?
Ism is a name, place, thing,
Place, thing, idea,
Idea.
adjective,
Yeah.
verb.
adverb. ये तीन चार चीजें याद रखनी है. Name, place, thing, idea, adjective, adverb. At this point. Anything else, I'll tell you later, inshallah. Right? और fail क्या था? Fail
Basically,
means
action
fail.
tha and doer of the action. Time.
Just the two, time as well. Very good. So fail is a word that shows action, time, and the doer of the action in Arabic, right? And harfs is a word that makes no sense unless something comes after
After
it.
that.
It's as simple as that. Okay. Now, हमारी study start होगी with the study of ism. Yes, that's where we will start our studies. Okay. For good 7 classes, we will only be doing ism. There will be few things about harfs that might come in, but you will not touch upon any other things. You'll just do ism. For the next few classes, um, I think 4 or 5 classes or 6 classes max, you will question your existence. Why I'm doing this? Not because it's hard, because it is. You will probably find it difficult to understand how this applies to the Quran.
Mhm.
Okay? How it is going to make sense in the Quran. Okay, we will do examples from the Quran a lot, and inshallah, hopefully time permitting, So we might see a few things today as well, how it applies to the Quran. Okay. But this is going to be the strongest foundation that you will build for the days to come, inshallah. So 6 days from now, 6 classes from now, you should be talking about multiple words coming together, working with each other. You should be able to open a surah and then apply that concept to a surah. Okay, so that's what we are looking at. Okay, right. So ism has four properties. In an Arabic language, ism has four properties. I'll list down those four properties: status, number, gender, type. Type, not type. Type. Status, number, gender, type. These are four properties of an ism. Now, I would want you to keep that in mind. Remember them. Four properties of ism: status, number, gender, type. Four properties of ism: status, number, gender, type. On your fingertips. Okay. So spend some time, inshallah, to keep them in your mind. Okay? Each property has a different objective in the definition of ism. We'll take one of these properties at a time and we'll understand them in the course of next 6 classes. Okay? And once we have understood these four properties, you will be able to understand ism as a word. Once you understand ism as a word, then you are able to understand how it works with other words. Okay? The biggest and the most comprehensive property is the property of status here. Okay, and that's what we will start today, inshallah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So I will define these properties as we go along, inshallah, in the class. So status. Let's focus on the status of the ism. Status of an ism. Now, status of an ism tells you what role an ism plays in a sentence.
Mhm.
What role an ism plays in a sentence? I'll give you a few examples. So, Muhammad, Muhammad ate an apple. Now, who ate an apple?
Muhammad.
Muhammad. So, Muhammad is the
Yes.
doer of an action, right?
Yeah.
Muhammad is a doer of an action. Ali ate an apple with Muhammad, right? Is Muhammad doer of an apple action or not?
Yes, because both are eating. No.
Oh, by with I mean when Muhammad was with him. So let me change this. Ali ate an apple while with Muhammad.
Okay, so Ali is
Okay.
the
Yeah. So Ali is the doer right now, but Muhammad is not the doer. But still, it's an ism in a sentence, right?
Yeah.
It's still an ism in a sentence. It is actually providing you some detail about what was done. It's a contextual detail around the action, right? Ali ate apple of Muhammad. Okay.
green.
Now, in this particular one, the ism is same, Muhammad, right? But it is showing possession of Muhammad, right? So this is some sort of possession,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
These are three statuses: detail, doer, possession, in which an ism can occur, right?
Mhm.
And we want to learn how they are different. It's difficult in English. It's easier in Arabic, actually, to identify this. So I'm going to teach you now how do you detect what is a doer, what is a detail, and what is the possession in Arabic language. It's pretty simple in Arabic language, inshallah. Okay? Before we do that, let me take you to your coursework a little bit. So if you see this, the definitions we did, they are in your coursework. So you don't need to really write everything that I say. Try to define it in your own words when you get time. And
Okay.
let's understand this exercise a little bit. So I'm pretty confident that you know what we're talking about. So I just want to know what you think about these words. All you have to do is identify them as ism, fails, or harfs. So if I ask you, for example, what is Dallas? What do you think it is? Ism, fail, or
Oh,
harf?
Ism.
ism.
It's an ism. What do you think is, for example, typing?
Fail.
Fail.
It's a fail. What about in?
Harf.
Harf.
It's a harf. Very good. Let me give you a tricky one because you are too good. So what is smiles?
Smiles is fail.
Verb. Fail.
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 Okay. Now let's do one example here.
Else is adjective.
He smiles at
Smiles is
me.
adjective, so it's ism.
Okay. He smiles at me. He loves the smiles.
It
Yeah, so
depends
it's
at how
adjective like
it depends
So
at how it's being used.
correct. So in the first sentence, what is it? Is it what type of word is
Magnify.
it?
oh
It's
first is
fail.
verb. Yeah.
Fail,
Yeah.
right? What is
Yeah.
second?
Second is
Ism.
Ism. The
yeah.
context matters, right? So I uh, love cooking. I am um, cooking.
So I am cooking verb and I love
Correct.
cooking ism. Yeah.
Correct. So this is the fail, and the first one is ism. So sometimes you have words that need some context for you to really define what they are, right? So that's the case with smile. So you could mark it as fail. You could also mark it as ism, right? Depending upon the context. Typing, same. I love typing. I am typing. Okay. So you have same in this case as well, right? So what about freedom? What is freedom?
Freedom adjective ism.
It's an ism. Is it an adjective?
Freedom, yeah, being free. Isn't it
Eh,
an adjective? Freedom.
No.
What was an
Azad.
adjective? Ad-
Hey, adjective is it defines to
If it's an
explain.
adjective, it needs to define or describe some
Answer.
sort of ism, right?
Mm,
Freedom
So,
of speech हो गया नहीं?
No.
Adjective.
No.
so it's a good example, freedom of speech. Let's think about it a little bit because I really want you to come to the answer yourself. Freedom of speech. Is it a thing you can touch?
No.
Is it
Uh,
an ideology? Is
but
it
it's
a
defining the speech. So isn't it complementing the ism? So isn't it adjective? No?
adjectives are written directly? For example, long speech,
Oh, there is
right?
no connection. Oh, okay.
No,
Here
because
you
of
have a
No
connection.
person.
possession, right? So this cannot be an adjective. But this not an idea?
Oh, yeah. That's first.
Idea, right?
Mm,
Freedom is an idea, right? It still falls in the definition of ism, but it's an
So,
intangible thing. It's an idea,
yeah.
right? And that's why it's an ism, not because it's an adjective or a verb. Okay. So soundly, what do you think? Soundly.
soundly,
It's to
again,
it's
how to use it? Soundly is
it's a,
adjective ism.
yeah, it's a
It's
and
again virtual idea.
Okay, so let's
Can
bring it
hear.
in a sentence. Adjective is something that is related to nouns. Adverb is something that is related to verbs.
yeah.
Okay. So adjective would define a noun like blue house. An adverb would define a fail, the action. Okay. For example, fast car. Okay.
Hmm?
Not fast car. So for example,
Awesome.
um, sleeping soundly. Okay. So sleeping is a verb. It's not an ism. right? The way how action is done is described by an adverb. The way how noun is described by adjective. You understand?
Yeah.
Bobby, with me?
It's hard to understand, but yeah.
I know, that's why you're in this class.
Mm.
My job is to make it easy for you. I'll explain again. So, what's the name of your son? What was the name of your son?
Then,
Zen. Zen is sleeping soundly. What does it mean, Bobby?
so the verb
Which one is a fail in this
sleeping,
sentence?
sleeping is
Sleeping
the
is a
verb.
fail. Sleeping is fail. Very good. Now, how is Zen sleeping?
Soundly is the,
Soundly. So is soundly describing the fail?
yeah,
Because it's describing the fail, that's why it's an adverb. This one.
okay.
Okay. Now, Zen is eating red apple. Okay. What is Zen eating?
Apple.
Red apple.
Apple.
Apple
Zen
is
is
a
eating an
sound.
apple, right?
Yeah.
What kind of apple is it?
Red.
Red.
It's red, right? Now, this red is describing a noun, right? An ism. This is going to be adjective. You understand?
Okay.
So usually the words ending with li are adverbs.
Yeah.
Quickly, soundly, loudly, and things like that, right? That's what we are saying. So this is going to be an ism. In Arabic context, it is an ism, but it's also important for you to understand why it is an ism. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'll let you both fight on this exercise in your time. Come back with the answers. And if you have any challenges, your fight is not resolving, just shoot them on WhatsApp. Inshallah, I'll help you. But I really want you to do this, okay, yourself.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Four property we said. What was the four properties, by the way? Let's see who remembers.
Status,
Huh?
status,
Mhm.
number,
Number,
gender.
gender,
Type.
type. You guys are good. When I learned this, I could not remember those four properties. Maybe because of my age, although I'm same age group, but anyway. All right. Okay, cool. So let's do this, inshallah. So we have about 8 minutes. I'll give you some English. I'll give you just three terms, inshallah, for you to remember, and then we'll continue later on. So status, we were doing status can be of three types. That's what we said. We said doer, detail, and possession status, right?
Yeah.
Now in Arabic, when something is doer, we call this rafa. Do we call this rafa? Rafa. So
Like Rafa
doer is a rafa.
Yadan. Rafa Yadan, we say. Like that
Um,
Rafa or no?
no, that's a different rafa.
That's a
No,
Okay.
it's
just
just the term rafa. Don't worry about where it is used. So just when I want to say Muhammad is a doer, instead of saying Muhammad is a doer, I'll say Muhammad is rafa. Okay, you understand? So in this case, who is eating the apple?
Zan.
Then,
Zain. So
Zan.
Zain is the doer, right? So I'll
Yeah.
say Zain is rafa. Okay, Zain is rafa. That's just another term for doer. You'll use the term doer and rafa interchangeably until you are really comfortable with it. Okay. When you're talking about detail inside the sentence, uh, detail, that is called nasb. I'm not going to give you too many terminologies. My methodology does not is not about giving you lots of terminology. I will skip the terminology. I'll teach you Arabic in English terminology that is understandable to you. And when you are there, then I'll introduce you to the terminologies. But these terminologies you need to know in the very beginning. Okay. So the detail is nasab. For example, um, what is Zan eating?
Apple.
Apple. So apple is a detail about this action, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this apple is going to be nasb. I'm going to call it a detail or nasab. Okay.
Mhm.
Bobby, are you with me?
Yeah, like I was just thinking mansab is a job, like is it
That's
that?
Urdu.
Yes.
Mm, mm,
That's Urdu.
Okay,
Mansab.
sorry.
आप इस mansab पे faiz हैं.
Okay.
That's the
Yeah, yeah,
Urdu,
yeah,
right?
yeah. It's
So
not that. Okay.
don't go there. Okay,
Okay.
don't. Arabic and Urdu are different languages. So there are
Okay.
overlaps. Inshallah, we'll discuss those overlaps. Okay, inshallah. Okay, so right now you just need to stick to Rafa and Nasab. Rafa means somebody doing something. Okay, he's a doer, and Nasab is some detail about the action that has taken place. Okay, and the last one is possession. I would say, instead of saying possession, I would say the word after of. Let's remember it like this. The of English. Any word that comes after the word of is something that you call jar. Okay? Jar. Rafa, nasab, jar. Rafa, nasab, jar. Rafa, nasab, jar. For the next week, this is your exercise. You're saying to yourself status number gender type, and you're saying yourself Rafa nasab jar, Rafa nasab jar. That's the practice you're doing. Okay, so next class you come in, you know what is Rafa, what is nasab, and what is jar from the definition standpoint. Okay, so I'll give you some examples. Um, I'll leave Zen. He has eaten apple quite many times now, so I'll choose somebody
mhm.
else. Okay, so for example, Junaid, maybe take the dad. Why not? Sure. So Junaid, let's say Junaid drives the car
Very
of
fast.
Ali. I mean, I won't write this Bhabi because that's the problem with all the hubbies. So I would be blaming myself. I'm sure Junaid understands. So, Acha, I want you to tell me in this sentence, Junaid drives the car of Ali, right? Who is driving the car?
Junaid.
Mm.
Junaid. So, what is Junaid? Is it Rafa, Nasab, or Jar?
Rafa.
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 Doer.
Junaid is Rafa. Correct. Now, what is Junaid driving?
Car.
Car.
Car. Is it Rafa, Nasab, or Jar?
Nasab.
Nasab. Because it's a detail about the action.
Yeah.
Whose car Junaid is driving?
Ali,
Ali.
which is jar.
Oh,
Which is Jar. Is it the word after of?
Yeah.
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 Right? Three isms in three different statuses, right? Operating
Yeah.
differently. That's what we are trying to understand. Okay. So let's go to you have just 2 minutes. I'll just give you a sneak preview here. This is all written here. So you don't have to worry about these terms. Don't worry about the marfu, mansub, majroor. Just remember rafa, nasab, and jar. Okay. Here are some examples. A teacher entered the classroom. Okay. You are asked whenever you have to find a doer, the rafa, you use the fail to construct a question. Who entered the classroom? Okay?
Mm.
You will find the rafa. The teacher entered the classroom. Okay? You use the fail and you again use the question word what. For example, what did the teacher enter? You will find the nasab.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, a student of his is a very bad English. I'll explain what this means. A student of his was sleeping soundly. Now, this was supposed to be his student was sleeping soundly. That's how it was supposed to be. But his student does not really show you as a beginning student of Arabic where the of is.
Mhm.
Okay, so you can break his student down into bad English, say student of his, basically. This one is a possession relationship, his student. If you write it this way, it becomes more evident what the status of ISM is. And when you are, inshallah, 3-4 classes down, this will become very normal. Okay, so his student. Now, who was sleeping soundly?
Student.
The student. So it's Rafa. The doer is Rafa, right? Uh, and then uh, whose student was he? His student was he, right? So therefore it's jar. Okay. How was the student sleeping?
Soundly.
Soundly. This is the detail, nasab.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it's your 9:30. Is it your hard stop or you have 1-2 minutes?
Yeah, we can do this 2 minutes. Yeah.
2 minutes. Okay, let's finish this page just now. Okay. So the teacher threw a pencil. Who threw a pencil?
Teacher is a Rafa.
What did the teacher throw?
Pencil,
A
which is
pencil.
Nasab.
Nasab. Correct? The teacher's student. Now let's do this in the brain. So the teacher's student woke up suddenly. Who woke up suddenly?
Student.
Student. So it's Rafa. Whose student was he?
Teachers.
Teachers. In your mind, you're saying student of teacher. Okay?
Yeah.
Student of teacher. How did he wake up?
Suddenly. Which is,
Understand?
Yeah.
So there are 3 statuses. Inshallah, we will do that in detail in the next class. In the next page, you have this exercise for you to do. Okay, spend some time during the week. Try to do this exercise. If you have question, I'm available on WhatsApp, inshallah, and we can also run through in the next class. So that's your assignment. Do it during the week, and inshallah, we take things from there. Okay.
Okay.
I hope it was not too tough, but inshallah, very nice to have you. I'll see you inshallah next Saturday.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome.